there, Riderflex Nation. Steve Urban here with more career advice and job interviewing tips for you. And as a quick reminder, if you enjoy our podcast, please remember to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes. And on today's podcast, I have a question for you. Where's our Oscar awards, right? Where's the Oscar awards for your company? Do you have any trophies in the office? Do you see any trophies around the building? Does your company hold annual awards of any kind? This podcast is really a tip for employers and executives. Just ask yourself, are you doing anything really to recognize annually those hardworking employees that have reached certain accomplishments? You know, I was reminded recently when the Academy Awards were on, I was reminded that when I was a district manager back in the day, so to speak, for many years, I held within my own district what we called our Oscar Awards, where we would pass out, store manager of the year. We'd pass out highest sales above plan award, and all these other key metrics that we decided, prior to, and we would pass these trophies out, and we'd bring all the managers together, and they'd dress up, and we'd take them to a nice restaurant. And then we'd have nominees for the awards. So nominees were sent out ahead of time, and everybody knew who the nominees were. And then when they came to dinner, and they could, by the way, bring their spouses or their partners with them, so that their partners and spouses could see them being recognized. And so they'd come in dressed up, and then we would read off the nominees, and we actually had presenters, and then we'd hand out the trophies. It was a big deal. My point is, sharing that story with you, my point is, do something to recognize your people annually, and show them how much you appreciate them. It's so important. I watch the Oscar Awards, and nothing against actors, but isn't it funny how actors are one of the few professions that really go out of their way to recognize their peers? I think more companies should do that. More industries should do that. Recognize people for their efforts. People love getting together. I mean, imagine you bring your wife or your husband in, or your partner in, and they're there with you, and they get to see you being recognized. Even if you're only a nominee, it's a big deal. I think it makes employees feel special. And if you do it on a regular basis, everybody will look forward to it. And I had great experience with it when early on in my career when I was a young manager. And there is your Riderflex tip of the day. We truly hope you find our material helpful and entertaining. And while our podcast can be heard across most platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud, you can become a supporter of this podcast by visiting our show on the platform Anchor FM. That's anchor.fm/Riderflex. You can also send us your questions or suggested topics for future episodes to the email address podcast@riderflex.com, or drop us a voicemail at 888-964-5876, extension 710. Visit riderflex.com to learn more about us. Thanks so much for listening, folks, and have a great day.